Okay, so first of all, I don't know why, but boom has become my word recently, mainly because I think when I was a football coach, I remember one time pulling into my car with all my boys that I was coaching, right? And my car at the time had a really loud stereo. So I thought I was the coolest dad ever because I'd pull into the parking lot and my radio would be really loud. And there was a song that was like boom, it actually says boom in it, which was our football song. So ever since then it became my word. But in this case, I'm gonna go boom. We're gonna talk about these two, serenity and balance today. Before I jump into these two, I wanna discuss a little bit about a completely different topic. And this video may be a tiny bit longer, so I apologize, but it's important information. People often ask, why is it that we want to use something like fractionated coconut oil to maybe diffuse the essential oil into a broader space, as opposed to using it pure, right? So you're diluting that essential oil into fractionated coconut oil. Two things are occurring. Number one, if you have a sensitive type skin, then anytime you're putting compounds of any sort, it doesn't matter if they're carpet fibers, if they're dust, if they're ice cubes, it makes no difference. When you're putting specific types of compounds directly onto our skin is gonna have a unique reaction. Each of us are gonna react differently. Some people are sensitive to chemical shifts in their environment. Others not so much. It's a very unique thing, right? So what does fractionated coconut oil do with an essential oil? Two things. Number one, allows you to diffuse that essential oil over a broader area of your body, or keep it more diluted. The second thing, and this is really critical, essential oils by definition are volatile. What that means is, I take this bottle, it's sitting in my kitchen, let's say, this happens to be from my kitchen. So you open this thing up, and within a minute, 30 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever, guess what? You're smelling some type of a compound that's banging into the brain and creating a reaction, right? That's because they're easily, without energy, without friction, without heat, they're able to leave this bottle and move through the environment. That's one of the primary reasons why our body uses them so efficiently. We don't have to burn any energy to use a compound that naturally wants to be moving around in our same environment. Does that make sense? Okay, so what does that mean from a fractionated coconut oil standpoint? What that means is if I take this balance, put it on my arm, and I rub it around, I'm gonna get a really strong effect of that essential oil into my system over time. However, guess what's also occurring? Those same compounds that remember, you open this, they're leaving. Guess what they're doing from my skin? They're leaving. You become your own diffuser, right? You walk around the office and your coworkers who are a bunch of grumps are now happier because you smell good. But guess what? Some of that effect that you were hoping for systemically is no longer present because it's leaving the environment and you're sharing it with the world around you. Totally fine. But if you want to amplify the effect over time, put those same drops in fractionated coconut oil and allow that to sit on your skin. What that does is not only dilute it, but it gets to sit on the skin and be usable over a longer period of time. So, very important. When you dilute with fractionated coconut oil, you're actually providing a longer use of those essential oils over a longer period of time. Now, the reason I went into all that is because the two oils we're going to talk about today are Balance and Serenity. Both of these are more effective when they're in contact with your body for a longer period of time. So the more they're in contact with your skin, the more that they're in contact inhaled into your environment, guess what? You're gonna have a better effect. So these are great to be mixing with your fractionated coconut oil, putting on the skin of like your little kiddos. Let's talk about Serenity. Great sleep promoter. It's a great sleep aid. So with the kiddos, you're gonna wanna mix it with that fractionated coconut oil, rub it on their feet, rub it on their legs. You're not necessarily doing it to dilute it or to make it more effective. Here, let's spin this way. We're gonna be real, we're gonna go this way because these people don't wanna be in our video. We're gonna go this way. Okay. One thing we're gonna do is we're gonna allow this to now blend with those kiddos, with your fractionated coconut oil or whatever, it's gonna last longer, right? So that means with the kids, yourself, your partner, spouse, whomever, who's a total grump, guess what? It's going to be more effective over time when it's in that mix. Does that make sense? So as opposed to just diffusing it in the room, which is excellent, consider diffusing it as well as having it blended with that fractionated coconut oil on the surface of your skin. You're going to get a lot more effect of the diverse chemistry that's here that then penetrates through into the bloodstream. Now, I know this is a long video, I apologize, but it's important. Sleep is a very complex problem. A lot of people think that sleep is easily rectified, right? I'm gonna change a food group, or I'm gonna try and lay down when my body's tired, or I'm not gonna use television at night, I'm not gonna have any UV light refracting from my eyes telling me it's time to wake up. Guess what? Sleep is super complex. One of the reasons why this Serenity has been shown scientifically to be so effective is because it does in fact work with the neurotransmitter system that is in charge of regulating when and how you sleep. So if someone wants to have a really good natural sleep aid that is going to effectively be usable on children, adults, mom, dad, your partner, husband, whoever's grumpy at night, doesn't want to sleep, Serenity is amazing, super effective. Now, let's talk about something else. I want to talk about balance and why it's so darn effective. Balance is interesting. People often use words like it's grounding, or it's a mood uplifter, or whatever. People use the word grounding all the time, and honestly, from a medical standpoint, I didn't know what that meant. The word grounding doesn't actually mean anything to me from a medical standpoint. What does mean something, I mean, I understand what it means, and I think it's a great term. I just didn't mean anything in terms of the verbiage. But what balance does that is so effective is it's a blend, and it contains fractionated coconut oil in it already. But what's great about it is that it contains a really interesting blend of different essential oils, and their compounds, which are super diverse, have the ability to change specific types of receptors and responses within the body. So of all the different essential oils, this is one of the ones or all the different blends, excuse me, this is one of the ones that's most interesting to me as a chemist, as a doctor, because the compounds in here have a huge array of activity. They're changing the way your brain thinks about stress. They're changing the way your brain internalizes problems. It's actually able to kind of manipulate, so to speak, how your body handles or deals or copes with problems. So when people say it's a grounding blend, what it's really doing is it's chemically telling your body to be more relaxed, to be more calm, and to be more centered. It's helping your brain process specific emotions differently. Where we process that is, especially different things we see throughout the day is in your frontal cortex, this prefrontal cortex. This is very effective at kind of calming the brain down so that it can organize all that data you see throughout the day. So think of those kids who have a hard time focusing, those kids who are constantly running all over the place, right? Their brain is just chock full of ideas and cool things they've seen. Guess where they find that these kids have a problem? It's in the organization of that information. So if we can find a way, which we have, to help that prefrontal cortex organize that information, guess what those kids become? More grounded, more calm. They're able to process that information more efficiently, which then means they're going to be more restful. It means they're going to be more healthy. So these two blends are fantastic. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and tell you to have a killer day, enjoy, and I'll come in. It's like my ninja moment. Just kidding. But these are pretty exciting. Enjoy.